Let me be real with you. If you're using Lovable the way it comes straight out of the box, you're definitely burning more credits than you need to. And it's not because your app is complicated, it's because Lovable has a few default settings that quietly drain your balance in the background. Most people don't realize credits get used every time you regenerate, fix something small, or send unclear prompts. So your credits disappear fast, not because Lovable is expensive, but because the workflow is messy. The trick to saving credits is simple. Be clear before you generate, write complete prompts, and do all your edits in one go instead of constantly regenerating. That alone helps you build faster while using way fewer credits. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 steps that can save 70 to 80% of your credits. And hey, if you're into no-code tools, AI automations, and building apps without touching a single line of code, make sure you subscribe to this channel.
So the first step is to build the backend side of your application. You have 2 options when it comes to building your backend. One is built in Lovable Cloud, but we're discussing about that first and how you can save your credits using Lovable Cloud if you're using it. The special thing about Lovable Cloud, there's actually nothing for you to do manually. Everything is done for you by Lovable AI. All these sections like the database is made for you, or the users, the storage, and all those functionalities are enabled through the AI. So the important thing in here is that you specify everything inside the prompt. First off, you need to finalize your tables. These are the tables I have specified in my to-do list application to be created. First of all, the table should be to-dos, and the next table should be to-dos categories, which will store the category assigned to each to-do item. The to-dos table will just store the individual to-do items. So start your prompt like this, and next off, you need to add all the necessary fields relevant to it. After you have done specifying the tables, now we move on to the fields, and you need to add the fields right below it because Lovable should be able to know which fields belong to which tables. I have extended my sentencing at the relevant fields are below this table, and I have added the relevant fields that I have prepared for this table. And the same thing I have done for the view categories table as well. I have added the relevant fields for that table as well. You might be wondering, how do we connect these 2 tables? So what is the relationship between these 2 tables? Before I told you that the to-do items will have some category it belongs to, how does Lovable know how to make this relationship? That's the next condition we need to include inside Lovable, which is adding the necessary relationships. The relationship is the most important one. Without that, your application won't work how it is intended to. After defining everything clearly, I have gone ahead and started the section called relationship. And I have specified line by line how each of these rows inside each field should connect to each other. By following these steps, you can easily make your backend application. And afterwards, all you had to do is just tell Lovable to build the front end based on that. A ton of credits can be saved. And the next option is to use a backend called Superbase. Superbase is a bit more manual, as in you need to create every one of the tables, every database, every storage related task, and every trigger related tasks. You need to create them by yourself. The amount of credits you reduce inside Lovable will be reduced massively, because in here, when you are creating tables, you do not have to inquire any type of AI. You can just go ahead and click on new table and create it. And when you're editing as well, you don't need Lovable Cloud to go through the editing. All you have to do is go inside Lovable and tell Lovable that you have a project inside Superbase, and to connect to it and build the front end on top of it. The credits that would be wasted on creating the database, creating authentication, and all other real-time request functions, everything will be reduced massively, and you can focus on creating a very user-friendly interface. Let's move on to the next step, which is one of the most important ones in here: prompt embedder. Right now, I am in Lovable's documentation for prompting. They have introduced a really well-documented way of how to prompt. This is really important because these prompts literally decides how many credits you save and how clean your U comes out. So let's move on to the first part on how to prompt properly. Most people actually don't do this, but it's one of the most smartest ways to save credits. Whenever you write a prompt, just add this one simple line at the end. Ask me any question you need before you start building. This does is Lovable fusing a gap instead of guessing. And when it don't guess, it doesn't rebuild things again and again, which saves you tons of credit automatically. And the next important thing, which I have discussed previously as well, is planning Before you even prompt, spend 30 minutes at least laying the foundation. Just ask these: what am I building? Who's it for? What do I want the user to do? You don't need a full-blown documentation, you just need direction. If you're clear, Lovable will be perfect. Next, have a clear flow. Learn to clearly map the user journey properly. Don't just think screen by screen. Think about the flow. What should the user see first? What comes next? Where does the main action happen? Even a simple 3-step mental map makes your prompts 10 times better. Next off, you need to lock in your visual style first. Most beginners fix the design after the UI is generated, which takes a lot of credits. Instead, just tell Lovable the vibe you want from the start. Be that it's just calm, modern, minimalistic, whatever your style is. When Lovable knows how to design, you do not need to regenerate later on to make changes. There's pieces of things that you need to focus on is being specific with each UI elements. Most people get this wrong and they say something like build a sign up section. Instead, just say add an email input and a button. Smaller, clear instructions always give cleaner results. And last but not least, you can actually use buzzwords to control the vibe of your application. Lovable understands vibe like mini premium, playful, cinematic. Use this early. They force Lovable to follow one clean design style across your entire app. And when you are building new pages for your application, you do not need to specify, stick to this theme, stick to that theme. You do not need to specify that. Use these final steps so that the theme is consistent throughout your application. Now let's talk about the final step, editing everything in one go. Everyone makes mistakes at some point when they are giving their prompt. And you want to go through adjusting whatever is wrong with your application after generating your application. And there's several ways to go about doing it. So first of all, I'm going to show you an easy method without prompting. You see this chat box here, right? Click on this visual edits button and it will go into a window like this. And now what you can do is you can go ahead and click whatever element you want changed. Let's say I don't like this name and I want to change it to something like, let's say I just wanted to do that. You can do it. No credits will be taken and you can just save it like this. And now your edits are changed. Now your changes are saved. None of your credits will be reduced if you were to make changes like this. As this prompt says, if you can actually poll CTRL and edit multiple things at the same time. Also, there's an option for you to tell Lovable what you want change into here as well. And also you can adjust the spacing, margin, and other type of stuff as well from here. Don't worry, even when you change this, even when you change it like this, no amount of credits will be charged from your account because you are doing it manually. Only when you depend on Lovable, your credits will reduce. Let's say you have a more complicated task. And when you're going through the pages, let's say, for example, I'm going into this past page and see all of my to-do items arranged one by one below each other. I want these items side by side. First of all, don't go ahead with prompting just for that one task. Go through your other pages and see what kind of changes those pages also has to do. And then go ahead and prompt whatever you want. If you don't give it in one go and give it one by one, each task will take a lot of credits out of count. This is because there's a lot of code being integrated into this application. Lovable needs to go through each one of them and change it by giving them one by one. Instead of looking at them all together, Lovable will actually go through each line one by one. If you take massive amounts of credits because of that reason, it is really important that you go through every one of your pages and note everything down and then generate your prompt according to that. So everything will be done in one go and your credits will be saved massively. Alright, so those are the 3 steps to save a ton of Lovable credits. Start by building your backend first, so Lovable has a clear foundation. Then use smart prompt to guide it. And finally, when you edit, do it all in one go. Follow these 3 steps and you will build faster, cleaner, and way more efficient. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one.